a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine?
I took a sip of water at the wrong time. Hello, I'm here. And oh, I'm good. I am. Whoa, sorry. I am here. It's good. It's wrapping up. We're coming back Sunday, so don't suffer. It's raining here. I'm in the middle of a tropical storm Nestor right now, so hopefully I make it all the way through. Yeah, it's been raining all day. Oh, oh, see, I've hacked in to the. All right, Cap is. But you guys can hear me, right? Okay, guys, Cap has instructed me to explain to you the situation. I am apparently being heard by you. They are not, but they can hear me and I can hear them. It's all confusing. Um, I'm just gonna.
Relay you information and you'll
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Okay,
Eric's
here we
listening
are. There we
now.
go.
Yep.
Everybody should be able to hear us now.
I was really excited to have to make him say the things that I was going to
It's just
say.
gonna be a Morse code show,
Oh, well,
basically.
breaking news from Eric.
You suck, and so is your dog.
And it's like, okay, look, everybody. You're just gonna have to lip read, okay? Like you just gotta.
All right, they say it's fixed.
Yeah, no, it's fixed because I can see the levels. I should have tested the levels, but it's always the same settings. I don't know what happened. Oh, you know what?
If
There
you
was an
know anything
update
from the
on
show, guys, we
OBS,
never
that's
check the
what it was.
levels.
Yeah. So anyway, well, that makes me wonder. Well, I guess the lead-in music probably worked because that's from a different source. But anyway, once again, welcome.
Hope
to
not, because then it was
Logan
just
Show.
me choking the whole time.
I'm Cal. Yeah, you're just looking at a logo for 12 seconds, like no.
And just here.
Our lead-in music is just DJ dying.
It's very artistic.
Welcome back to the Captain Logan Show. I'm Captain Logan. Behind me is Eric Holden. He's guesting
Hi.
tonight. He's going to be taking your questions just like I is. And there's DJ
Someone
Martinez.
says I look like Jesus. Whenever I have long hair, it's Jesus and hobo, which says a lot of things about Jesus,
It's a
right?
it's a fine line.
I was
Well,
going to say,
he was.
like...
He didn't have a home.
Like, Jesus
He didn't.
was basically a hobo, but a hobo is not necessarily
He was
Jesus.
a vagabond.
Okay, sure. But homeless and walking around a lot.
But he was traveling. It wasn't like he just didn't have... Like, he could have had a home if he wanted a home.
That's true. He could have had a job if he wanted one, too, I'm sure.
He kind of had a job.
Yeah,
he didn't get
he
paid
helped
for
out.
it.
He had carpenter training.
Yeah.
He had carpenter training, and he helped out with
He invented chairs.
Fishermen. Wow, really? Did he also invent the wheel, you think? No, they had that by then.
No, but that's the thing in Passion of the Christ I think it's
They
hilarious.
They had that by then. There was Rome.
Is he makes a table and his mom's like, this table's too high. How will people eat here? And he goes, no, there will be these things called chairs and they'll sit in them like this. And I'm like, Jesus invented chairs. That's hilarious.
Wait, are you serious? I've never seen that movie.
That's in Passion of the Christ. Yeah. I assume it's canonical.
That's
Canonical with
Literally
the Bible.
canonical.
that's dumb.
Because I don't know if everyone knows that canon comes from the Bible.
Yeah.
That's where we first get that term.
So basically, what
Yeah,
you're
it's not a
saying
book. It's like
is that
hundreds of books.
if Jesus hadn't said that, they'd all just been standing around the Lord's Supper, the table. But they had. Why are we having this conversation?
Because somebody said I look like Jesus.
Yeah, and then somebody said that I'm your disciple.
I can't wait to make the thumbnail for this one.
Eric, I'd like to go on record to say I like your long hair.
I do too.
I think it looks good on you in a way that it didn't on me. I don't know if you saw it, my 1970s Professor X period, but it did not look good.
I don't think
Which I did 2 years after that movie came out.
I'm pretty sure I'm going bald, and so I'm just enjoying my hair while I have it.
Oh, that's a good idea. I totally see why you're doing that. Yeah, I've had some. I've seen some people in the comments in videos we've done recently that are like, "Eric, cut your damn hair," and I'm like,
Yes.
no, don't though.
That's how First Blood started.
Because it looks good. I thought maybe you did it because you're allowed to do that at the job you have now, but you couldn't before.
No, I could have before.
Could you?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you had like somewhat long hair, but I didn't know if you could go as long as you did. Because I've never seen you with hair this long.
I mean,
Or
I
have
guess
I?
you've never seen
I don't
me,
think I have,
but
yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's old videos where I have long, because I used to have really long hair. But yeah, I'm back to it.
DJ, your hair looks nice as well. Tonight, we're doing a casual show.
It's very
because
big.
DJ forgot to bring a suit, and I didn't want to make Eric have to dress up, so we're doing a casual show tonight, and then, let's see, do we have 1 or 2 weeks before Halloween? We've got one more show before Halloween, and then we'll do a costume show for Halloween. I don't know what I'm wearing yet. I packed up all my costume stuff, so I'm going to have to buy something. I have no idea what I'm going to do yet, but we'll do a Halloween show, either on Halloween, but I don't know. We talked about that last time, DJ. I got to take my kids trick-or-treating and stuff. It's probably going to be Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think people think I make less videos than I do because of how they post. Like, everyone's always like, "Oh man, Eric's back," and I was like, "I shoot like at least once every 2 weeks."
Yeah, I mean, you average about one a week.
I think so.
But there are several things we've shot that I've not posted yet, just because of how infrequently I've been posting.
I just want everyone to know that I do still make videos. They just don't release regularly.
I just don't want you to think that stuff's not going to post. Like, we have a Green Arrow video we shot that I've not posted.
Oh, you haven't posted that?
I haven't posted that yet.
We shot that like 3 months ago.
I know. I've got purple hair in that video, I think. And then there's a couple things with purple hair that I've not posted yet. I posted one a couple weeks ago, and somebody was like, "This must be an old video, right?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yes, it is." And then I haven't posted Ultimate Spider-Man yet.
That's after.
No,
Because I think in that one,
I think
in that one you're like, well, it's been a while since we did Ultimate Spider-Man.
Well, now it's really
We've done
been
a
while.
whole arc of Ultimate Spider-Man since we shot that video, and it hasn't even posted yet.
It has.
It's very confusing.
No, I know.
Should we just do only Ultimate Spider-Man before? Because I might be moving.
That's a good
Should we do just only Ultimate Spider-Man?
Maybe we should get some of those knocked out, because I mean, like, I'm sure we'll still shoot some remotes, but it'll be hard to do, especially if you move out of state. It'll be hard to shoot as often.
And where I'm going to be staying. Last time I was there, the internet was not good. Remember, I couldn't even get text messages.
Oh no.
Yeah.
See, I thought you just went dark on purpose.
I mean,
that trip.
It worked out nicely because I was planning to do that, but no, like
So are you saying there's a possibility if you move to Colorado, we're gonna go from having you as a regular staple on the channel to never seeing you again?
At least for a while, yeah.
Oh no. Okay. Well, you guys get used to solo comic vaults for a while, because that's probably what's gonna happen. If that happens, I will miss you, but I will understand, because you gotta go live your life, buddy. So let's go ahead and do.
Eagle's gotta leave the
I'm
nest.
ready to go live in the woods, in the mountains.
Let's start taking some questions, guys. If you want to make sure that your question or your topic gets talked about, you can leave us a super chat, but don't feel the need to do that. You can also leave pre-written stuff. We'll knock out as many of those during the show as humanly possible, but we sure appreciate everybody's support, and that helps us out maintaining the channel. I've got lots of big plans in the future. We're going to do some more bigger goals in the not-too-distant future. I've got plans. The sequel to Spawn Year is probably going to come back. I've been working on plans for it. I know how to do it now. I know how to reboot it, because it has to be rebooted at this point, and I know how to do it, and I think it's going to be better. And I don't know when I'm going to start working on that, but it's going to cost more than it was going to cost before. So I gotta figure all my finances out and stuff with that. But you heard it here, folks. I'm gonna do it. It's got to get done. I don't like to leave things unfinished, and I got cool ideas and I'm excited about it. I want to tell you about that. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? DJ, why don't we start with a pre-written question and then get into some of these super chats, sir?
All right. We have from Anime 2019, which comic book character do you relate to the most or inspires you the most? Real thinker.
That question's always been easy for me. It's Batman.
That's who you both relate to the most.
You
and
relate to
inspires
Batman?
you the most?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously there's some differences. there are lots of differences. I mean, I can't completely explain why I've always felt that way, but even as a kid, like, Batman was the comic character that I always felt like I related to the most. Like, it's not like our backgrounds are anything like the same. But
It's interesting because I think of Batman as nigh inhuman.
Well, sure, but again, that's the inspiring part. That's the, like, I want to be that. I want to be that driven, right? And I want to be able to accomplish anything. But that kind of, like, obsession with, like, seeing good done and justice and all of that, like, that's where I always related to that character. And for some reason, I always found Batman more relatable as a kid than Superman, even though I probably share Superman's values more. Who is it for you?
I mean, Oliver Queen, comic book Oliver Queen.
Oh, you relate to Oliver Queen?
Yeah, he's a loudmouth who's always wrong, but it's like doing his best to do the right thing. You're
not as liberal as Oliver Queen.
No. But because like it's Oliver Queen and Tony Stark, and I think they're very similar characters. And if Tony Stark's being written correctly, which he's never, but in my mind, my two favorite characters should be politically polar opposites, where like they're very similar people, but Oliver Queen is very liberal and Tony Stark is very conservative.
Yeah.
And I like that balance. People won't write Tony Stark that way, so he tends not to be that as much in the comics anymore. But no, I both of them have very similar flaws. I once was talking to someone about this, and I was because like Daredevil, I have this with too. I relate to the bad parts of characters where I'm like I really relate to Matt Murdock's Catholic guilt.
Sure.
But for inspiring, I'm gonna go really oddball and maybe not even correct. But there's a comic called Madman.
Yeah.
And I read the first volume of that, and it's the only time I've ever.
He's got an exclamation point.
He does. It's a lightning bolt exclamation point that there's.
That's what I know about Madman.
Accusations that Freakazoid kind of stole.
Yes.
But
I love the art. Well, that's the Allreds, isn't it?
Yes. That's,
Nailed it.
That's
okay, I know two things about Madman.
I don't know if it's the Allreds at the beginning. I think it's just Mike. But
well, I couldn't remember which one.
But
so
it's been over a decade since I read that first volume of Madman. But when I read it, I was like, this is the first time I've ever read something that makes me want to be a better person. So I'm going to say Madman. I haven't reread it, so like maybe I wouldn't still have that. But like I remember reading that and feeling really like moved.
DJ, do you have an answer? Do you want to answer that?
Yeah. Nobody cares what I think. I'm going to move on.
Superman?
Oh, you're not even...
I'm sorry, I ran long.
I care what you think.
I don't know. I mean, you guys know I didn't read that many comics as a kid, so it was probably ultimate version of Peter Parker.
Everyone played the ultimate version of Peter Parker, I think.
Yeah.
Because I did as a teenager, right? Well, you didn't read it as a teenager, but I did.
I didn't. Well, and even if... well, no, I was a teenager when that came out, yeah. I had 2 years left of high school, yeah. All right, sir.
Yeah.
Let's get to some super chats. I see a bunch of them.
Okay. We'll jump over.
Piling up.
Yeah, we got a ton. $13.99 from Cody Barron, but it's Canadian money, so who knows how much it really is. Just wanted to say that you guys are awesome. I always find content to be a refreshing, interesting, and entertaining way to go through my day. Looking forward to more great stuff from you guys. So not really a question, just praising.
We really appreciate the super chat. Thanks for the kind words. He finds it he finds it enjoyable and enlightening as long as we got the right source plugged in.
It sounds like reading. It sounds like reading one of those short letters columns, like in the back of like old Marvel comics, or like the short ones that are just like, "I love what you're doing." It sounds like reading out loud one of those.
Yeah, the difference between that and what we do is that if somebody wanted to pay us to say really mean things, we would have to say it on air. We would have to publish those.
Yeah, we have no standards here.
But unlike Stan Lee, we're not going to pay for
We'll
super
say
chats to
gross
be
things.
read that we wrote. We're not gonna make nice things, because Stan Lee famously did that in the early days of Marvel.
Was
He made up good fan mail.
He's a crack businessman.
I want to hurry up and move on now.
Send your hate mail to Eric at geekvolution.com. All right, Jeffrey Patron.
I am not currently pretending to be someone else sending myself a super chat. I've never done that.
So, keeping on the same train here, Jeffrey E. Patron says, "Don't take my questions. Have some of the monies," and he gives us $5.
Okay, but if you have questions, I want to take them because you always have great questions, and then you make me feel like I don't know enough about music.
There's been a couple After Darks where we're like, well, we don't know this, but Jeffrey probably does.
Yes, a lot. And I have now played one lead-in song that was a song that Jeffrey introduced me to.
It's on the Crow commentary that probably hasn't posted yet, where I was like, what genre is The Cure? And you're like, well, Jeffrey would probably know.
Yeah, and I think like 3 other people wrote in the comments and told us what it was, and they all said the same thing, so I guess there's like
there's a consensus.
Like a standard consensus for that, yeah. All right, what else, DJ?
All right, I'm going to do one more super chat since there's so many, and we haven't even answered a question yet from them. T-Edge1, if splicing were real, would you guys do it? And if so, what animal? And how's the stones? You guys are awesome. And, okay, he has no punctuation. This is really difficult. And how's the stones? You guys are awesome and are the best channel on YouTube.
Okay, so let me address that first. He's asking about the kidney stone, which, again...
I was thinking Infinity Stones. I don't know why I went there.
I was thinking, like, the Rolling Stones.
It's weird that he pluraled it. Luckily, I don't have more than one of those, because that would be the worst, and I would probably just kill myself. But, So as I said last week, in a perfect world, I would just like not be all TMI and come out and say exactly what I had. But Eric, I was worried that as long as it had been where I was telling people like I don't have time to or like I'm not making as much right now because I'm not feeling well, people were gonna think that I was either dying or lying about it. So I felt like I had to come out and say what it was. But yeah, I have had no pain at all for like 9 or 10 days. There was one day where it started to come back a little bit, so I'm pretty sure I still have it, but it wasn't really painful and it was gone the rest of the day. And then I haven't had it again, so I'm seeing the urologist on the 23rd. Hopefully we can figure it out. I may still have to get surgery, but I think I have it, but it has not been a detriment lately. So that's good. Splicing. No. Big fat, I would never do that.
No, but I draw the line, like, I'm long on the record. It's like, I don't believe in, like, putting technology inside of you unless it's, like, fundamental life-saving, like a pacemaker. Like, I don't believe in, like, casual body modification.
Casual cyborgism.
Yeah, and that would extend to, like, and I want a tail and wings. Like, that's too far for humanity.
It's a slippery slope.
And we've spent 100 years of science fiction telling us why it's a bad idea.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I agree with the ethics behind it. I cannot say that if we could cyborgify ourselves, that in certain ways I would not do that, because certain things would be way too convenient. And there's always that question of how much are you changing what it is that makes you human. With giving yourself animal parts, you are literally making yourself something other than human. And this is going to sound like a weird thing for me to say, but I feel like there would be just a lot of like weird kind of like fetish connotations and stuff after furry culture and all of that. I wouldn't want to get involved with that. But
there's
folks,
not a
to.
convention that you'd have to go to.
I just wouldn't want to. I don't know. That was the first thing that came to my mind. But that would be a thing, right? Like,
well, yeah,
that would absolutely be a thing.
You have to carry a card.
But Eric, if I could plug my brain into a computer and get information from it, I would have a really hard time not wanting to do that.
I wouldn't do it if it came with like matrix plugs inside my head. Like if you can like wirelessly beam it to me and I don't have to do anything, I'm cool with that. I won't.
Okay, but wouldn't you be worried about? I would think that the
Cancer?
bigger worry. There's that. I would think that let's have maybe 20 years of history behind us before I do it.
Probably built up lung cancer. Like cancer's already on the way.
No, what I was gonna say is, wouldn't you be less worried about the physical modification to yourself, and more worried about like the ways in which people could intentionally influence you with like messing?
Well,
with,
yeah,
like,
that too.
Yeah.
The second you plug it in the internet, you get a virus.
I mean,
what happens?
That's
what Snow Crash is
and you
about.
know, a lot of people would do it anyway. Like, we know for sure, this is not conspiracy nonsense, that if you have a phone, it is possible for certain entities to listen into your conversations. And if we're
that's the Amazon Google thing, where like like you'll be talking about something and then you'll pull up like your phone, there will be ads for what you were talking about.
If we're willing to lose,
if you have Facebook Messenger, Facebook is listening.
Yeah, exactly, and a lot of us use that. A lot of us do that. Yeah, but that's not a conspiracy thing. We know for sure that's going on. And so, like, if a lot of people are willing to lose that kind of privacy and arguably give up certain freedoms, they do it for that too. And I would be tempted. I would absolutely be tempted.
Well, and we know Alexas are listening. I will never have an Alexa once they put forth the idea that they proposed the idea of Alexa listening for illegal activity from their users and calling the police on them. I was like, yep, never having one of those. I don't even do illegal things, but I still would never have one of those. But I don't even want to misconstrue something I'm saying.
Now, everybody remember that that's exactly what a person that was doing illegal things would say.
Well, no, but I make a lot of dark jokes, and like I don't want to hear me like talk about like killing somebody and then be like, oh, he's killing somebody, he's gonna kill somebody, I'm gonna call the cops.
Noah, did you just make a TMG reference? Where's the shadow government when you need it? That's great. Well done. I didn't know Noah was a TMG fan.
But
it's better if it was an accident.
Removing
it is, but it's word for word. There's no, it's the chorus of that song. There's no way. Something else. It's maybe technically their best album. Check it out. It's absolutely wonderful. Free plug for TMG. They should be paying me with as much as I talk about them.
Removing my ethical concerns and putting it more in like a fantasy world where like I would never actually do this. I want wings. I want to be able to fly. Like the flight invisibility question has always easily been fly for me.
That's fair. If it gave you superpowers, I would be more tempted. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like, if
Well, I
if
mean,
you
the
could get,
prehensile tail is...
or like chameleon
Anything,
stuff,
yeah.
where you could like blend into your background and stuff like that. Like, I might be tempted by certain things.
I still wouldn't, like, in the real world. But, like, in a fantasy world, like, sure, I want wings.
Yeah, your wings in the real world would have to be gigantic to carry like 170-pound person.
Well, and the amount of like effort it would take to actually flap them to move your body.
You'd have to work out for like 10 years to get the
Yeah.
strength to do it.
Those
You have
of
to
us-
work your wings out.
Those of us that have ever uttered the phrase "I'll try anything once" really need to rethink that. All right, DJ, let's do another pre-written question, man.
All right. They are piling up. Let me go back. So Noah O. I was going to ask Noah O's, but you already just got your super chat, so I'm not
by
going
the way. Well done.
Oh, this is something I wanted to bring up last week and I forgot, so I'm glad Cinematographic... well, I didn't forget, but I ran out of time. Cinematographic says, did either of you hear that Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum are returning alongside Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard for Jurassic Street, he calls it?
So, I don't know enough about the premise of that movie to make a new name for it yet. I want to see the movie before I do that.
Yeah, we didn't know it was Jurassic House.
No, I went to that movie and came back and was like, that was titled, but now, I liked how pretentious the title was, because it was perfect for that movie, but it's Jurassic House. There's just no way around it. I had heard rumors well before now that the majority of the cast of anybody that was ever in a Jurassic Park movie was going to be in this next movie, so that does not surprise
Are
me
they finally
at
bringing
all.
Sam Jackson back with the cyborg arm?
That just it needs to happen. And they've cleared the way where it won't even be that weird anymore.
No,
Like, you
Sam
can do-
Jackson. I think we said that in the review. Where like there was early drafts of Jurassic Park 4 where Sam Jackson showed up with a cyborg arm for a T-Rex. That would not have been weird in Fallen Kingdom.
You can do it now. It's just not a big deal. They can go to space. They can do anything they want to.
Oh man, that should be on the moon.
I want it. I want it so bad. Like you make raptors that can go on the moon, or you give them helmets because that's funny. Although they already did that in Lego Movie 2, so.
Well, I also assume that the Raptors can do it themselves. They can invent the technology and go to space all on their own.
That's how you make that movie. That's right. They make a spaceship. Yeah. I mean, they're the smartest living creature. Solar Dragon. Somebody in the comments in that review back when we did that said, "Look, it's just not that crazy to say that." I said, "Yes, it is." The most. It's a giant lizard. Somebody said Jurassic Society. Solar Dragon 007. That's pretty good. Jurassic Apartment.
Jurassic Cul-de-sac, I like.
That's a pretty good one.
Jurassic the Room, Oh Hi Raptor. Okay, so yeah, so we talked about that. What?
So they're very excited.
I didn't know. I don't know if I'm going to see it or not. Do we know if it's still Colin Trevorrow?
Yes,
Like, okay.
it is Trevorrow.
Is he back to direct?
He made
After he got fired off of Star Wars Episode 9?
Because he made
because he
that-
just did a
made that
short,
little
yeah.
short film.
Okay.
He made Jurassic RV Park, so
So it probably won't be as crazy, and I didn't love Jurassic World. Like, I thought it was fine. It's on par with Jurassic Park 3, I think. Like, it's fine.
that's true. Like we've jumped the shark so hard with that. We've jumped the megalodon.
Plesiosaur.
But he didn't direct.
I know. That's what I was about to say. Is we've jumped that so hard that you can't go back to sober after that.
And I think he will.
And if he goes back to sober, I'm not gonna be as interested. Unless it's just brilliant and I can kind of just write off the last movie.
But I don't believe it will be
I don't
based
either.
on Jurassic World.
Yeah, I don't either.
But yeah, I mean, what could he have directed? Like he couldn't have directed that script any better. It was just outrageous.
But maybe,
Like-
it went more off the rails, or he cared less about it. Like, I don't
Maybe.
think if he made that second movie, it would be that movie.
I don't either. Even with that script, because a lot
Because
of
it's co-written by him, the second
a
one.
lot of the insanity of that movie is how it's directed so straight and thinks it's like a smarter film than it is, and that it's like a piece of art and all of that. Like, it's so over the top and it doesn't know it, but it's consistently that way all the way through. It's what Gotham needed to be.
I don't think...
And that's why I love it so
like,
much.
if Colin Trevorrow had made that, like, I don't think you get Chris Pratt, like, 6 inches from lava. Like, I don't think that happens.
No, you probably wouldn't even get that insane opening titles with the lava that just immediately sets the tone for how insane that is. Like that's probably just a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
Jurassic House is a quagmire and a brilliantly bad movie.
It
that
should-
has no idea how
It
bad
should
it
have
is.
been a franchise-ending film that was super successful.
Yeah, it should have.
It would be like if Batman and Robin had made like more money than the previous two Batmans.
Jurassic Suburbs, says Carl Maxey.
Jurassic
just
Boat.
going up.
Yeah, we did a doctor we did a Jurassic
Boat.
Boat joke in a video not too long ago. Okay, yeah, let's go on. Let's talk about something else,
Raptor eats a
shall we?
rum ham, and somebody's like, "It should have been you."
Oh, let's just make jokes that Cap doesn't get. Mr. Weeping Dalek says, thoughts on Kevin Feige running all of Marvel?
I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, Dan messaged me about that. He's like, "What do you think about him being chief creative officer of Marvel?" And I was like, "Well, I just heard about it when you messaged me, but my initial reaction is negative."
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. He's replacing Quesada, and no one's talking about that. That was
Yeah.
Quesada's previous position. Where is Quesada?
And Quesada hasn't been doing anything.
Well, he has. He's been the chief creative officer.
I know, but we haven't heard much from him in a long time.
Well,
Like,
that's
I
what I'm saying.
assume-
That's why I'm not sure I'm
Yeah,
super worried
that's
about
the,
it.
That's the point I'm making, is I don't know how much control he's even going to have.
Because, like, right now, Marvel is very different from what it was under Axel Alonso. And Axel Alonso's tenure as editor-in-chief was very different from Joe Quesada's, which makes me wonder how much input the chief creative officer really has over the actual, like, day-to-day books. So I don't know if anything's going to change that much, although I would actually like things to change, but
Yeah.
I don't know if, like, this is going to make some of that stuff worse or better. I don't think it affects the comics at all, but it could.
Here's why I
if
don't...
he pushes, like, movie synergy.
The reason I don't immediately agree with that is because I don't think he has to push movie synergy for that to just automatically create more of it. I think that just tells you where the heart of Marvel and Disney is right now.
It's really
the
sad.
fact that they put him there means they want more of that, and they're going to get that.
Mm-hmm.
Either from him or eventually from someone else, like, if he doesn't stay very long. Like, and he probably will, because he's still overseeing MCU, but, like, I think regardless of what choices he makes, that immediately means you will see more of that.
We will probably
my
not have a
thinking.
great Marvel comic book in a long time.
Or you'll have a couple, sort of like, and I know people are tired of me bringing this up, but sort of like, Donny Cates' Venom, where it's like, it's so not too connected to a ton of other stuff that, like, you can kind of just run off with yourself. And, like, the best stuff at Marvel right now is isolated. Mm-hmm. And you might still see some things like that.
Well, and Spencer Spider-Man's doing a good job of integrating, but, like,
Yeah, that's true.
you're not going to see, like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, if this had happened 2 years ago, I don't think Hickman comes back on the X-Men.
Probably not. Yeah, and I'm...
Especially since Hickman came
worried
out and
about
said,
how-
it is a huge mistake to try and make the comics like the movies. You do the best work you can, and if it's good enough, they'll go, oh, hey, that was good, we'll put that in the movies. You should be trying to create content for them, not taking from them.
Yeah, do you agree with this, Eric? I think, generally speaking, the door goes in one direction, generally speaking, where, or should, where the comics inform the films, and then I think sometimes just naturally the films are going to inform the comics, but when that happens, it should just be because the movies had a good idea that the comics can then run with. Mm-hmm. Or there's just an aspect of it that looks cool in comics that didn't exist before that, right? As opposed to,
Yeah, like,
we just want it all to feel the same.
Like,
Because there's stuff that works better in each medium than the other medium, but also there's stuff you can do in long form that's harder to do movie to movie, and then there's stuff that is just too weird for general audiences.
well, yeah. Well, it's too weird for Marvel readers now, too, because we can't do that without poking fun at it.
Yeah, and that's obnoxious.
But a good example of that would be in Iron Man. We struggled for about a decade trying to figure out how to visualize, like, Tony Stark inside the armor. And then the movie did the HUD thing where it's on his face, and we've just done that since because they were like, everyone just went, well, that's clearly how you do that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's fine.
It's real subtle, it's real small, but, like, I don't need in-jokes to the movies ever.
Yeah. I'm reading through Morrison's X-Men because we're going to review that soon, and at some point...
No
it's
one
a
knows
lot-
when you will see it,
It's
but
it's a lot of comics. It could be 6 months from now, but
it's 40.
it will
It's
come
40
out.
issues.
It's a lot of comics. Morrison pulls a lot from the X-Men movies there, but it's still very comic book. Like, I like doing movie Cerebro. Like, I got no problem. I've always loved the big round room. I think movie Cerebro is cooler than comic book Cerebro.
But it's also not. It's not a big round room. It's like an orb thing you walk into. It's not like a whole room like in the movie.
That's true, but it looks more like the movie version.
Sure.
And like,
and they have the leather jackets and stuff.
Yeah,
which,
like I'm just
in
saying,
the long run probably a mistake, but
that part I don't like as much. But like,
I like the day glow. I like the day glow over what they did in the movie.
it also just doesn't help that some of the art in that sucks.
Yeah,
but
you're
like,
past that because you finished the Phantom X
and
stuff, so
now
you will
it's
never
fine.
have to read him again.
It is the worst
Igor
Wolverine
Kurdy.
face in the history of Wolverine. It is objectively the worst Wolverine face I've ever seen.
Igor Kurdy is an awful artist.
And I don't usually, I don't very often say objectively. I can't imagine one person on the planet liking that art.
I mean, I could try and draw Wolverine's face. It would be worse.
Sure,
I can't draw a bat symbol.
I meant in a published comic book.
Well, yes,
but you're right.
It is the worst I've ever seen of like, how did this get published?
Okay, DJ, let's go to some more questions, man.
All right, here we go.
I'm
This
enjoying
is
those,
for
by the
you,
way.
Eric.
They're great. Oh, this
Donnie
is for me.
St. Pierre, Super Chat asks, Eric, have you been writing lately?
Not specifically, kind of on and off.
Yeah.
It's hard to find time. I keep thinking of things and starting things, but I haven't like sat down and like really hammered something. I have a couple of things that I'm probably gonna work on soon.
You sent me a few pages of the thing you were working on that I thought had real potential and was a really cool idea, and
Yeah, I
wanted
haven't
to see more of.
Yeah, I haven't written any more of that.
I tried to be really encouraging because I'm always afraid of saying something that'll just make Aaron go, okay, screw that, I'm done.
No, I really want to get back to that superhero thing I started that I
Yeah.
sent you.
That's what I was talking about, I think, or was it? No,
No,
it was
you're
a-
talking about the sci-fi.
It was a
sci-fi
comedy
thing.
bit.
Yeah,
It was
the
a
sci-fi
comedic
thing.
sci-fi thing.
No,
I liked that. That was good.
But that superhero thing I wrote, I would like to get back to.
Yeah.
That would be an actual novel.
that
and
was
I would wanna
also
do that.
interesting.
But I have a couple of comic things I'm kind of tinkering away at, but nothing major, nothing worth mentioning. But on and off, yes, about as much as I always have.
Well, I hope you can find some time and get rolling on that.
Be nice when I move before I have a job.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I would take every advantage with any free time you have at that point. All right, DJ.
Cool. Well, Jeffrey E. Patron sends us a Super Chat. And he says, a brand new Batcave for 2020. They might be Logan's brand new series, Flood, not actually Flood.
If you know They Might Be Giants, you know what he's talking about. It's the opening track from Flood. It's a brand new record for 1990. Yeah, we are getting a brand new Batcave. We are calling it the Bat Bunker because it's an unfinished basement and it's concrete and it's gonna look a little bit like the bunker from Dark Knight. In fact, we're looking into doing the lighted
panels?
ceiling panels for that. And so far, we're not finding anything commercial you can buy for that. It's all like business stuff. But we've got a couple of ideas of how to do it.
I mean,
we wanna
at
eventually
worst,
get to
you could
that.
just do like fluorescent, right?
I don't want to do fluorescent
Sure.
at all, because it's bad for your mood, and fluorescents are awful. And you have to replace them.
Well,
more
it wouldn't have
often,
to be fluorescent. It could be like the LEDs or whatever. But I just meant that like where you would just put like a light fixture here and have the thing on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about like translucent panels that you
Yes,
put?
yes.
Okay, yeah, that would be
Yeah.
a way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have to be fluorescent. They could be like the LED lights or whatever, like you've got in the bathroom room.
I went to IKEA today and took some pictures, made some notes about some various things I want to do with the house, including the bunker. I showed pictures of the bunker last week, so you guys, if you go back to that show at the end of it, the last 5 minutes or so, you can see what that space looks like right now before we move in it. We haven't closed yet, so like I said last week, there's a tiny possibility we don't get the house. At this point, it's pretty solid.
What happens if you don't get the house?
You start over.
Oh, do you cancel on the guy that has the thing in on this house?
No,
You become Jesus and live on the street.
That's about right. Yeah.
Okay.
You basically have to go live in Airbnbs or something for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, because you'd have to close on this house and then you'd be homeless and then you'd have to.
That's what I was. That's
yeah,
what I was curious.
That's exactly what would happen.
Okay.
Not looking like that's gonna happen. We should be okay. But anyway, I mean, there's risks you take. But we had the inspections on both houses last week, and those came back okay. And I think we've signed the paperwork already for all of the the negotiations for like stuff we each want and stuff for that, and then we have the appraisal this morning, and that comes back hopefully in the next couple of days. So that's the last big hurdle for this house. But anyway, that's all more information that anybody's going to care about. Anyway, selling and buying a house at the same time is not easy, but it's going way smoother than I ever could have expected it to. Let's talk about something geeky.
Let's do it. I really hope our
He says
previous
before he knows
conversation.
what the next question even is.
I really hope our previous conversation was on camera. Otherwise, it looks like I'm just taking cheap shots at Jesus. Was that on camera?
Oh, was that? No, that was all.
No, it was because someone said he looked like Jesus.
Yeah, and I responded to it. Yeah, and that would have been after the preamble.
That was after the preamble.
Okay,
We didn't have an
we're good.
entire Jesus conversation before. Yeah.
We
Okay,
have 13 super chats, so we got to get rolling
okay.
here.
Oh, let's blow through them. Go ahead, DJ.
All right. Tony.
Are you ready, Jesus?
I'm ready.
Tony asks, "What up, Cap and Eric? What are your thoughts on
Peace.
Tartakovsky's Primal?" Sorry.
I haven't gotten to watch it
I
yet.
haven't either.
It's on Amazon. You have to buy each episode, so I'm gonna have to wait. I thought it might be on Hulu because they have Adult Swim stuff. So I'm gonna have to wait for the DVD to drop.
Is that the only way to watch it? Is there not a streaming place for it?
No, because it's broadcasting on Adult Swim.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not a streaming, not a streaming first thing. But Hulu has. Maybe it'll drop on Hulu after it's all done. But I'm super excited for it, and I cannot wait.
I want to see that too.
It's like 12 episodes, 6 episodes, like that, completely dialogue-less, caveman dinosaur. Really excited.
Oh, speaking of animation, have you started watching any more of Disjamming? Because the second season of that just dropped.
It did. It dropped a couple weeks ago, and I
forgot
went
all
to
about
start it one day, and I was just in a really bad mood. And so, like, before the episode even, like it was going through the recap of, like, last season, I was like, I'm just not in the mood for this, and I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
Letterkenny's new season has dropped, and I've already watched all of that. Totally forgot. Need to get back to that.
Because I enjoyed that quite a bit. You know,
They're
I'll
calling
probably-
it part 2, which makes me wonder if it's not going to be very long. If it's not, like, thinking that it's going to run like Futurama or The Simpsons, like, maybe it's only going to be, like, 2 or 3 parts.
Well, and being so serialized, you might have an ending in mind.
I don't know. But, yeah.
Okay, let's go. We got 12 more super chats.
All right. Ross Hitchcock says, "Eric, if you move, will you upload to your old channel again, or have you moved on from that?"
No, I'm done with that.
And by the way, I get that question on an almost daily basis.
Yeah. Well, nobody has a way to contact me. But I see it on videos and things.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I'm done with that. If I ever want to do anything professionally as a writer, I can't have things that I said when I was 18 out there like that in the way the world is, because we just don't understand. Like, well, yeah, I was 22 when I said that.
But people will say, okay, well, why can't you just start uploading now?
Because I still will say things that like
But you're willing to talk on this channel.
Yeah, but like once I move and like if I'm making less, like I don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, and
If anything started to develop, I would stop entirely. Like if anything started to develop on a professional level, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
Because I shoot my mouth off. Like I understand there are professionals that do things like that.
Yeah.
But like I very much don't like things, and I'm very vocal about that, and like that's not a great thing to have out there.
That's understandable.
And on this channel, I'm forced to be restricted, as opposed to
somewhat, like,
yeah.
you know, you still say things that make people angry that don't agree with you.
Well,
like,
sure, but like I don't run off like I did on my videos.
That's true, and I think that's part of why people like.
I don't
me.
actively call people morons and things like that.
Very rarely.
There's sometimes where I accidentally get there and I don't mean to, where I'm like, look, I'm not saying that anyone likes this movie an idiot, but you have to be an idiot to like this movie. Thor Ragnarok.
I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to, but it was on my mind. You've always told me that when you started your channel, it was an outlet that you don't need anymore.
Yeah, well, I was actually thinking about that too, where we're talking about potentially moving away again and losing a second group of friends where I'm like, oh, but once again, I will not have someone to talk to about these things. But like, I have so many people now digitally. Like, I guess I won't have somebody in person, but like,
You got people you can call, you got people you can text.
Yeah, I got plenty of people I can talk to. When I started my channel, I didn't have any specifically comic book friends. And like I know lots of comic book people now, and I know lots of people like the things I like, and so I have people to talk to about that. That was always the point of my channel. Like I never wanted to be famous. I just wanted to talk to people about things I like.
This is not what you want to do for a living.
No. Like if all of a sudden like somebody came up and was like, "Hey, do you want to do this and like make like $60,000 a year?" I'd be like, "Yeah, okay." If I could
But
do
you're
it,
not going to try to build it grassroots like I have.
No, I just don't have the time for that.
Because I've told Eric, like, I think he could probably get away with, like, starting not a Kickstarter, starting a Patreon like I did, like, building it up, and, like, you probably could, like, I don't know how long it would take you to make enough money to, like, live on, but, like, I think you could do it as a supplemental, income, but if you don't want to do that, you shouldn't do that, because then it won't be any fun.
I'm also terrible at following through on things, because my moods change so often, like, I would hate to, like if I set up a Patreon, it was like...
You would want to do perks.
Yeah, like, I just want you to give me money. Like, I don't want to have to be required to do anything. I'm just being honest about myself, so I'm not going to do that. Where it's like at this, I'll review all of Chris Claremont's X-Men, and then I'm just never going to do that.
Just make one tier that's arbitrarily released content, and then just throw it.
Yeah, exactly. At $100 a month, I will arbitrarily release content.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a paywall series. You could do a thing that you want to do anyway, and then make it your pay. Like there are Patreon channels that have like 1 or 2 tiers. But I mean, just in all seriousness, most of those that are really successful obviously have a much bigger base than we do.
Well, and I wouldn't even like necessarily.
I have to do perks to make Patreon really valid, but I also, me, for a long time I wouldn't do a Patreon because like Oliver for a long time was like Cap, you really should do a Patreon, and okay, he calls me by my real name, he calls me James, he doesn't call me Cap. He was like I think you do really well with that, maybe you should do one, and I was like, I don't want to beg for money, and then when I realized, well, I could like give people something for it, so it isn't like that as much. And then it got to the point where if I didn't do that, I couldn't put as much time and effort into this as I do because I'm making a fraction of what I used to as far as ad revenue goes. And so I had to have a Patreon.
I also strongly don't believe in paywalls for content.
But we do After Dark.
That's a different thing.
Okay.
That is a Patreon exclusive thing.
And I was gonna say I don't care for paywalls either.
I don't.
As far as I've always said, I won't do a review on Patreon.
I don't.
Because the primary.
There shouldn't be paywalls for your general content. I'm not throwing shade. I'm just using examples. I love SF Debris. I think he makes great videos. I love him so much. I hate that he has paywall reviews. There are reviews I will never see from him.
I didn't know that.
I would love to see. That you have to be at like a certain tier of Patreon to see, and I'm not saying he's wrong for doing it, but I would never do it. Yeah. And he did reviews for Iron Man and Iron Man 2, and I want to see them, and I'll never get to.
I could understand doing like, you know how a lot of people do early reviews, and we'll do early reviews.
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
But I could see doing like way earlier ones where it's like, this is a thing I made for Patreon, and only Patreon can see it for like 6 months. And then eventually it goes live.
There's a Spider-Man podcast I listen to where they do behind the Patreon paywall. They have weekly or monthly like reviews for the Spider-Man books. So I guess bi-weekly. And then like 2 or 3 months later, they take those and clump them together and release them as a podcast. Where it's like, okay, if you want to know what our thoughts were on those issues, here it is. But if you want like the week after an issue comes out, you want to know what they had to think, you have to pay for. I don't mind that because I can at least listen to them if I want to listen to them.
I did that with Midwestern Panels. We had the DVDs for a while, and then eventually I just made it free for people to watch.
I have no problem with that. But the like locking behind a paywall, like there are podcasts to listen to where I'm like, boy, I'd really like to listen to that, but I don't have the money to pay you guys. Sorry.
And you have a number of people you listen to.
Yeah.
DJ, what else you got, man?
All right, another one for Eric here from Webmaster47. Did Eric see The Boys?
I have not watched The Boys yet, but I intend to eventually.
Gonna?
Yeah, I'm going.
Okay.
Because it sounds like they may have fixed
He's boycotting it. Cap is boycotting.
I'm not boycotting it.
He's boycotting because it's the reason they canceled The Tick.
He's putting words in my mouth. I'm not happy about that. That is not the reason that I've not watched it. I'm also not saying I'll never watch it. I don't want to currently. It's not a thing I'm interested in. It's the same thing you have with other stuff you won't go to the theater for, where people say you're boycotting and you say I'm not boycotting. By the way, I did a 5-minute segment last week on this show praising you for what you said on the SSSS about that, and talking about just how right I thought you were about the difference between boycotting and just not being interested, and you don't owe them your money.
Yeah.
They're not entitled to your money
Yeah.
if you're not... Well, Amazon is not entitled to my watching that, like, just because it's a superhero thing.
But you do have to own it when it hits DVD.
There we go.
Yeah, and that's stupid because I'm an idiot.
But no, I've not watched it. I vehemently dislike the Boys comic. I think it's everything. It is all of Garth Ennis's eccentricities with none of the heart and passion. From what I've read, I heard later in the series it gets some of that heart and passion that makes his work so well. But it's like much later. I'm like, well, I'm not going to invest like 40 issues into a series to finally care. From what I've heard about the TV show, it sounds like they kind of fixed that and like kind of eased back a little bit on some of the Ennis-y stuff that goes so far, which I guess they have to. And I'm angry about that with Preacher, but not about... Because Preacher works, and I just think that they're like, what they did to that show, I think, is obnoxious.
I forgot that existed.
Yeah, everyone did. It's still going, I think.
Still going, huh?
But it's so watered down, like, it's... But The Boys needed to be watered down a little bit to be, like... for public consumption, period. So, like, I don't mind that. I do intend to watch. I just haven't gotten around to it. I have so many things that I've intended to watch. I just don't have a lot of time.
Success is no longer always required for a thing to get renewed, which is why things getting canceled like The Tick really bothers me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, somebody must be watching, right? Right? Like somebody has to be watching Preacher.
Sure.
Like, they made pops. Well, I guess they made pops at everything.
Somebody, but it can't have... like such an overwhelming audience that it's like, well, look how much more more people are watching that than The Tick. I never think.
Well, it probably is doing better than The Tick, but that's because it's on AMC.
Oh,
and it's like right after, right before.
So
yeah,
that's harder to compare.
It's around Walking Dead, but like, yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, DJ, are we still in super chats?
We still got 11.
Oh well, we should talk faster.
Ross Hitchcock again. Thanks, man. He asks, are you guys excited for Terminator Dark Fate?
I am curious, but I'm trying not to be too optimistic about that movie. I think that could really easily go either way.
I'm hoping it's good.
I'm going to see it. I just watched 1 and 2 again in preparation for that. Like, I'm going to go, but
yeah,
I don't know how that's going to go.
I'm interested in seeing it. I hope it's...
Nothing in the trailers is impressing me. But
no, but I want to support movies for adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't make enough of them. We don't make enough entertainment for adults. Like, we make the art films, but we don't make enough entertainment for adults. So, like, I'm at least going to try it.
There's a thing in the trailer that after rewatching Terminator 2, I'm like, I really hope this makes sense in context. I don't understand why she hates the elderly T-800 so much.
Well, yeah, I assume that that's something.
Like, I don't know what that's about. Because if it plays in the movie like just, you have his face so I hate you, I'm going to be angry. Because that's not how it worked in T2.
No,
and
I assume something has happened.
She immediately did not care about that anymore as soon as she saw the way he interacted with her kid and how important that dynamic was.
But we know Edward Furlong is back as John, and he's not in any of the trailers, so I'm wondering if he's only in a flashback where he dies or something, and maybe a T-800 kills him, and like that supersedes the respect I had, or that was the T-800 that killed it. I don't know. There's clearly a backstory with both of them that we're not getting in that trailer, so I'm interested.
Because besides Skynet, that future has to be way, way different now. Mm-hmm. And so maybe John Connor never even happens. But I mean, then you have like a double, triple, quadruple paradox. I don't even know.
Well, and she says to that chick in the trailer, she's like, I was you 20 years ago, so like I'm wondering if... Like, what if John Connor just became Edward Furlong? Like, he's just kind of like a burnout that like never really did much. He was in a Crow movie one time.
I hope he gets more to do than the kid in Glass.
Yeah.
right, what else, DJ?
Tyler Parker, when are you going to continue reviewing Ultimate?
So we have a video I haven't posted yet, and then
Ultimate Spider-Man?
Ultimate Spider-Man.
There's at least one arc. There might be two.
No, there's one.
There's just the one?
There's only the one. I posted one before that, but we haven't posted that yet.
We did Ultimate 6. Next is Hollywood.
Yeah, and we'll try to get to
People
that
won't
soon.
even know I've moved. Like, it'll be like 6 months after I've moved.
The thing is, I've been prioritizing the.
I'm not complaining.
the
I just think it's
requests,
amusing.
And so that stuff has been more on the back burner, and also I've been sick and stuff, and so like I just haven't posted as much the last few weeks.
No, what'll happen is he'll move and he'll be gone for a while, and then a video will come up and there'll be like a bunch of comments. Did Eric move back in? Because that's exactly what happened with your hair.
Hopefully, it'll just all be stuff that we shot here, and so they'll be like, "Oh, that's an old video," because he's not even in that house anymore.
Hopefully that's big.
We'll shoot as much of that as humanly possible. If you move out of state and you're not able to record very much remotely, we'll just never finish Ultimate Spider-Man. I don't know. Maybe we'll just finish it with Dan or something. But I would hate to not be able to finish it with you.
We should at least get to the. We should try and get to the end of Bagley, and then Dan can take over when the artist changes.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. But then we'll only get those like twice a year or less because of how infrequently Dan can shoot. He's good for the summer. That's about it.
You shoot a bunch of them.
Yeah, we've done that with other things. All right, what else, DJ?
All right, TH1 gives us a super chat. With the increasing number of creators using words incorrectly like parsec, limited edition, and alter, he spelled that wrong, alter ego, at what point should they be held accountable?
Alter ego has been used incorrectly?
Yeah, I don't even know what that means. Limited edition, I've heard. Because is he
Limited
complaining
edition
about
is
the glass
glass.
thing? Is that what he's talking about?
Parsec is obviously George Lucas.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other one is.
I think held accountable is a little strong.
Also, parsec might not be incorrect.
Really?
Well, the original Star Wars script makes it seem like it's intentionally supposed to be Han Solo being wrong.
Oh, right.
Like it's him trying to talk up, but not knowing what he's talking about. But later, George Lucas has said that that's not the case. He's also tried to provide alternate explanations because he knows it's wrong.
Yeah.
Or at least he now knows it's wrong. And he's tried to present alternate where it's like, it's about the navigational computer, so it's not literally how fast you can go through it as much as it is like how fast you're able to navigate through it. But
my answer to that is artists don't have any obligation to explain their work.
Sure.
They don't. The work stands on its own. If there are mistakes in the work, there are mistakes in the work. If in the future that person doubles and triples and quadruples down on it, it's stupid.
like in Glass?
If that exactly. If that artist doesn't learn from that, now I guess if they don't like read any reviews or anything and nobody bothered to tell them, then that's not on them as much. But if they know about it, I don't think there's, I don't know, like how do you hold that person accountable except just to say, hey, maybe don't do that again.
But the kind of people that we're talking about, it's not like they're writing Catcher in the Rye,
Sure.
where like they're gonna like hide in a cabin and like they don't care what anyone thinks of their work. Like these people will have a general sense of what people think of their work.
Well, yeah, but there are people who refuse to ever read or watch reviews, right?
That's true,
And so
but
if,
depending
if
on how
none
big
of their
you
friends
are.
or anyone ever bothers to tell them about that mistake, then I
Like
don't know how
even
they
if
would
George
know.
Lucas never looked at a review ever,
Yeah.
he is aware about Han Shot First. There's no way that man does not know Han Shot
and
First.
we're talking about the most high-profile creators, but if you're
Yes.
talking about just creators in general, and it's not that high-profile, there is the possibility, for instance, that if, say, Tom Waltz doesn't read reviews, he could make a mistake in a Ninja Turtles comic he would never know about.
But he does do
That
interviews,
is
and
absolutely
he can come
possible.
up on that. Because like I don't think Bendis reads reviews, but like Bendis gets a sense of what people think of his work.
Okay, but if he's mostly interviewing with people that are just throwing him softballs.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it is possible that a person a little bit less
Sure,
high profile would never
sure,
get that.
sure.
But I might be talking kind of desert island. I mean, you might be right that it's usually going to happen. But am I right that like the only thing you could really do is just move forward and not make that mistake again?
Yeah. That's what I would think.
That's the sensible thing. I don't understand held accountable.
Yeah.
With respect. Like, I don't think that person needs to be like tarred and feathered or anything.
Well,
I don't think they owe us an apology.
the
or
world
anything
is
either.
different now. When Larry Niven wrote Ringworld, there's a thing about a guy hopping across the world so that his birthday extends, and he sends it in the wrong direction. Everyone made fun of him for it. and he just fixed it in later editions and like also
Sure.
made fun of it himself.
Yeah.
Like
Well, that's classy.
it was just like fun ribbing, like, "Ha, you made him go the wrong way, you idiot!" Like, but like now everything's just so dour.
Yeah, we just take ourselves too seriously. Not to get too far off on another topic, but a thing like that major of a mistake that affects the work negatively and is not the thing you would have done if you'd understood it, if you knew it, I think it's totally fine to revise.
Sure.
It's harder to do in a movie.
Yes.
But I think in anything, if you can, that's an
So are
okay
you
thing to
finally
revise.
agreeing that they should have revised the opening of Homecoming? Because that's clearly a mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you've always been like, well, you shouldn't alter the work. I'm like, but it's an accident.
If I said that, I think maybe I was wrong about it.
Okay.
And it's difficult to be consistent when you're on camera like 3
No, I
hours a
understand.
week. Like, I don't remember what exactly I said with that. But yeah, I might have been too extreme on that one.
Okay.
I think you might be right the more I'm thinking about
They
it.
should have fixed it for the DVD release, I think.
Yeah, like I've generally been an absolutist about that kind of thing. I also think that if you notice it right away, it's a little different if it was in the pop culture for 30 years that way and it took that long for anybody to notice.
Yes, that's different.
Like, I don't think you should mess with Star Wars 20 years after
We
Star
noticed
Wars.
day
no matter
one.
what it is, even if it's a
Everyone
mistake.
noticed day one, like, wait a second. That's not right.
I don't think you should pay Harrison Ford like $50,000 to go back and re-record that one word and make it something other than parsec. Like, I wouldn't do that. It's case by case, like everything. All right, DJ, throw us another one.
No, nowadays there'd be 20 thumbnails with red arrows pointing at his mouth. Random reviewer says, thoughts on the recent castings for The Batman?
I don't know that guy. Apparently he's in There Will Be Blood.
Oh, Paul Dano, yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Little Miss Sunshine? You guys should see Little
I
Miss
never
Sunshine.
saw Little Miss
It's
Sunshine.
one of my
Do you
favorites.
think he's good for the Riddler? Because I don't know anything about him, but I like that build for a guy.
He looks identical to Christian Bale.
You're not the only person that's been saying that, and I don't see it. Like,
It's actually that photo.
It's
is
this.
it just that photo?
That photo, he looks really... I see it in that photo, but he's actually a really skinny, lanky guy. Like, if you've seen
interesting.
Oakjaw, he's really good in Oakjaw. He plays, like... I think he's going to be good for Riddler.
Okay.
I like him a lot.
Who is he in There Will Be Blood?
I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen
Okay.
that.
I think he is the opposite. Do you know the famous like I drink your milkshake scene?
No, I don't.
Oh, there's like this really famous scene from that movie where he has this whole explanation about like how oil because it's about like oil barons and he's like I drink your milkshake, I drink it up. I think he's the guy he's talking to in that scene.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyways,
I liked it for a lot of people. That's going to be a relative unknown.
yeah,
I think it was really
well. It's
smart.
like Christian Bale. When Christian Bale was cast, people were like Reign of Fire.
When I say relative, I mean obviously there's movies that guy's done that people like, but a lot of people won't know it, and he's not like a huge high-profile A-list actor. It's really
American
good to
Psycho
not
News
go.
is.
Yeah, it's really good to not go Jim Carrey again.
Yeah, and I want to remind everyone this is still supposed to be somewhat. Like, this is a rewrite of Ben Affleck's script. It's not a page one rewrite.
Yeah.
It's still supposed... And his movie was supposed to have multiple villains. So just because he's cast doesn't mean he's the villain.
Well, and that's been revealed for a long time that there's supposed to be a conceit to put a bunch of villains in that
But
movie.
the way that he talked to... The way Affleck talked about... Not knowing what this
Because I
script
think
is...
Penguin is still also supposed to be in that movie.
Okay. The way Affleck talked about it was...
But I don't know
it
if
was going to
that's
be
rumor or not.
inspired
It's hard to
by the movie The
Well,
Game.
and Catwoman was cast.
Yes.
Yeah, but that could be a villain or not. You're like,
But it's supposed to be inspired. Ben Affleck's version was going to be inspired by the movie The Game, and would have been like a psychological, like mystery thing where like he would have had to work his way through Arkham Asylum, and so like there would have been other
Which is
villains
what I
there.
want.
But Riddler makes sense as the villain of that kind of story, so maybe Riddler will be the villain.
even if he's the main villain, yeah, absolutely. Kravitz, I've never seen in anything. I mean, I know who she is, but I've never seen her in anything.
It's Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah.
Isn't she? She's an X-Men First Class. Yes.
Oh, is that who that is?
She's Angel.
I guess that is who that is.
Oh.
Okay.
I think I could be
Yeah,
wrong. I was
no.
pretty
Now
sure.
that you say that, I guess that is who that is.
I've seen her in something else too.
Well, she's
recently, though.
not really anything in that movie.
She's
but...
No.
fine in that for the 5
And you've not
seconds
read
she's
some of
there.
Angel in
Yeah,
Morrison's X-Men.
yeah, that was kind of.
She's a very different character.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I kind of like that. All of the casting
no.
so far has been nothing obvious.
Yeah.
And is all been, oh, that'll be interesting. That's not what I would have thought, but that'll be interesting.
Yeah. I really appreciate that about the casting. Where I'm like, well, I'm very interested to see how this goes.
Yeah, I like they're not casting any big names.
Or even
Yeah.
like just obvious names. Like I like that. Like I look at them, I'm like, well, I don't immediately see it, but I'm willing to be won over. Because that's almost more disappointing to me. Like when they cast him, I'm like I always go to Cumberbatch, but like when Cumberbatch was cast as Doctor Strange, I'm like, yeah, he'll be fine. He's Doctor Strange. Like, but like I had nothing to look forward to. Like I knew exactly what that performance is going to be. I just didn't know he was going to be doing it in an American accent as opposed to his regular voice. But like his performance is exactly what I thought it was going to be. I like that. I have no idea what any of these people's versions of these characters are going to look like.
Yeah, it'll be a blank slate.
That's why I
Well,
want Joaquin Phoenix as Doctor Strange, because I have no idea what that looks like.
Technically, Eric, you have seen Paul Dano in something, but I doubt he'll play this role similar to how he played the kid in Where the Wild Things Are. So you're safe there.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, he's not
Okay.
that old.
I guess not.
Yeah, because that was what, 09?
Yeah, and he's probably like 12, 13 in that.
Yeah.
Like probably playing like
So
8,
he's
9.
gonna be a mid-20s Riddler, mid to late 20s Riddler.
Well, I mean, their Batman's late 20s, early
That's
30s.
true. I'm just not
I
used
like
to these
them being
characters
age appropriate.
No, it's cool. I'm not used to these characters being this young anymore.
Yep.
And I mean, the precedent set in movies going all the way back is everybody's in their 30s or later. From
Yeah.
Tim Burton on, we've always done it that
Well,
way.
I like that because this is supposed to be an early Batman.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm excited. I love that. Like you said, that I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't even have any preconceptions with this.
it's very exciting.
I mean, I expect it to be, pretty rough and tumble.
I don't know. I guess
I expect it to be pretty gritty and street level.
I assume it'll be at least as dark and gritty as his Ape movies.
And they've been talking a lot, and I love those. And they've been talking a lot about how we're finally going to do Detective Batman, and it's supposed to be a detective story.
Well, and that's what Ben Affleck was saying the entire
But
time.
I expect it to be more comic booky, don't you?
I
Like
don't
he
know.
made movies about apes. Like
it could
he's
be,
not gonna be afraid of having silly stuff.
No, but it can be that and very gritty. I mean, I didn't say
Yeah,
down to
I'm
earth. I
just
just
saying.
said gritty.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
saying as opposed to. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's another thing I'm excited about.
No, I think you're right. Absolutely. And I mean, visually, that was one of the things that the BVS and those movies kind of got right with that. Like, we got to see basically live action Arkham Batman. That's awesome. That's what I want. But unfortunately, the story was awful.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm
we
very
are-
interested to see what it is.
For time, and we already have a lot of super chats left.
Okay, let's try to finish these. We're
All right.
already.
Malik Myers Reborn says Hellboy is my favorite non-Marvel or DC comic. That's why I requested the movie. So I was wondering, what's your favorite non-Marvel or DC comic?
Well, I just have to go with my obvious Stan, pat answer, which is the Tick.
Give me one over on Walking Dead.
Well,
You don't love Walking Dead more than the
more
Tick
than the
now?
Tick? No, but I mean, I have other runners up certainly.
Say TMNT.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles I guess would be second for me. Yeah.
Mine might be Hellboy. I mean, there's a lot. Just because there's so much, like it's hard for me. Like I like a lot of stuff Remender's done.
Yeah,
but
the thing
like,
you gotta remember is that Eric reads a lot of comics that
Yeah.
are in the big two.
Yeah, Hellboy might be, but like I almost don't feel right saying. I don't know. I don't immediately have a great answer for that.
Because like you can even go to manga.
Yeah. Well,
like,
my favorite story of all time is Berserk. So if like that counts, like Berserk is my favorite comic book.
Eric, have you ever read Fable?
I read about 5 or 6 volumes of Fable.
I just recently read the first one because I just found out about it and I love fairy tale stuff. So does it stay good? Because I really like the first trade.
So everything I say comes with a grain of salt because I haven't read it. Like this is pre-channel. I read Fables, so
wow.
I'm a teenager when I read this, and I think maybe some of that political stuff might land with me better. But there's a point where Bigby leaves. Like I'm not saying he dies, but like there's a point where Bigby leaves, and I was like, oh man, I don't like any of the other characters. Like Bigby was my favorite character, and like I don't care about any of these. So once he left, I was like, I don't think I need to keep reading this, but I might appreciate it more as an adult now because it's so political.
Yeah, as I was reading it, I was like, man, Eric must love this guy if he's read this because if you don't know Cap, he's like a hard-boiled detective who's like smoking all the time and like cracking.
And that's the thing was I was
jokes.
super drawn in by that. There's never another story like that. It doesn't continue to be a murder mystery.
The first one was great as like a classic whodunit with
Yeah,
fairy
it's
tales.
not like that after that.
that sucks.
It becomes like this big political thing.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
I read that first volume. I'm like, well, I love this. I'm gonna. But yeah, I read the first like 5 or 6 volumes, and that book went forever. It's got to be one of the longest running single creator Vertigo books. It probably is the longest running single creator Vertigo book. Anyways.
Cool. I had to ask you about that. Sorry.
As soon as I heard that question, I was like, I don't know how Eric's going to answer this. He reads a lot of independent stuff.
Yeah, nothing immediately is coming to my brain. I wasn't expecting that question. I'll think on it. If I come up with a better answer, I'll...
At the risk of making this longer, I want to answer a question that just popped up because I like it. Purple and Black. Which Joker would you want to see continue more, Ledger or Phoenix? I mean, that's great because those are both Jokers we'll almost certainly never see more of. Ledger, obviously, but Phoenix. I mean, there's no plans for more of that.
They said that they might consider it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that it could happen, but it's not real likely. That is a thing that, even though it stands alone really well, I would not immediately cry foul to make more of that.
No.
I wouldn't.
It would be like a different thing, though, and that would be interesting.
Yeah. Because I would like to see, what he would be like with Batman. And also, it was just such a cool performance, I would not mind seeing him play it again.
I would still go with Ledger, because I love Ledger so much, and also...
It would have fixed Rises, probably.
Yeah, Rises wouldn't have sucked, because we know he had plans for a third movie that involved Ledger, and that's why it took so long to make that third one, why he didn't want to make the third one.
And that watches to me like a movie that he's making begrudgingly, and that he's having to tell a different story that his heart's not in as much. And if he had Ledger, that probably wouldn't have happened. So yeah, I can't help but say that as well.
Cool. I just want a yes or no from... Or I guess this is more of a scale question. How excited are you? This is from Cody Barron again. How excited are you for Watchmen this Sunday?
Well, Eric's not going to watch it. I'm going to say...
I am boycotting it.
Yeah, that
is a thing I am boycotting.
That's an actual boycott. Mildly, certainly. And thanks for reminding me, because I didn't realize that was dropping yet.
I need to get an HBO account.
HBO right now. That's what I was going to say.
I kind of do.
The thing is, Watchmen... Oh, really? Well, we may have to
I'm on somebody else's Hulu account, and they have HBO. So until they stop paying for HBO, I have HBO. That's how I watch Barry.
Watchmen is a big thing for me and my wife. Sarah loves Watchmen, and that will surprise some people probably. Her sensibilities don't make sense.
She also loves Sin City.
And she loves Sin City. She loves Watchmen. She's excited about that show. It's a thing we never thought we'd get more of. I didn't want more of course, but it looks really intriguing, and it's something to watch with my wife, and it's hard to get my wife to watch anything. So
it's got Jeremy Irons.
I guess I'm excited to have a thing to watch with my wife. I guess that's my answer.
Is Jeremy Irons officially Ozymandias?
Yes.
Okay.
And they make that clear in the trailer.
That's the thing that's the most interesting thing. Like, he's great casting.
He's great casting, yeah.
Although, I would also know that he was the bad guy. That's not true. He's a great actor. He could have totally made me believe that he wasn't the bad guy before revealing he was the bad guy.
Oh, you mean if he actually
played... Yeah, if he played Ozymandias, I would totally know that he was the bad guy. That's not true. I've seen him play good guys really well. He's a great Alfred. He's the best Alfred.
I was immediately more intrigued when the trailer made it clear that more characters from the original material are in that show than originally I thought would be. And in really interesting roles. So, like Silk Spectre is like a police officer now. They kind of did the Batman Beyond Barbara Gordon thing with it.
Cool.
That's kind of interesting. And she took her father's last name, which is really interesting. That's kind of messed up, and I'm intrigued by that. And there's a reveal of Dr. Manhattan at the end of the trailer, and it's like, I hope that's not a thing that happens on episode 9 of 10 or whatever. But there's I don't know, there's reasons to be intrigued, even if it's not a thing. I agree with Eric that it probably shouldn't have been made.
It's ethically wrong to make more Watchmen. And you should, in a decent world, everyone they brought that to would say, no, I'm not going to do that, that's wrong. I don't begrudge anyone watching it, but I personally, I didn't read before Watchmen, I'm not reading Doomsday Clock, I just think it's wrong. That was supposed to be a championing of creator rights, and it was supposed to, the rights for Watchmen were supposed to revert to Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons after a year, and they after a year of it not being in publication, because trades weren't big then.
And that's become the antithesis of that idea.
And they never let it go out of publication because of digital releases and stuff. It will never be out of publication. And I think if DC had any decency, they would just give it to them. But not that Alan Moore would take it, because he wouldn't.
Cinematographic, how does Sarah feel about the ending of the movie? I think Sarah and I are in agreement about most everything with that movie. She read the book with me. Have I ever told you this? That my wife and I read... This is the only time we've ever done this. Before that movie came out, 2 weeks before, we read the book together out loud.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, wow.
Which there are bits of that are very odd to read with your wife, rape scenes and such. But we did, and it's a real fond memory for me. That was like just after we got married, and like I don't know, Watchmen's a big thing for me and my wife. She and I both felt like Snyder's ending was more believable and thematically more resonating and a little less hokey than the way the book did it. I stand by that. I'll stand by that till the day I die, probably. Nobody's ever convinced me.
Well, Len Wein agrees with you because he left like 6 issues in because he didn't think he thought Alan Moore was copping out with the ending. He was the editor on the book.
When you look at what's great is nothing has changed about what Dr. Manhattan does except for that ending, and all roads feel like they're leading there when you have that ending. It's almost like they wrote the thing that Alan Moore just didn't think of. I don't know, that was always really impressive to me. I probably shouldn't give Snyder any credit at all for it, but
well, no, it would be the scriptwriter.
yeah, whoever wrote that.
It's what's his name, right? The David Hayter. David Hayter wrote that.
Is it Hayter?
Yes. I'm pretty sure David Hayter wrote that.
Boy, there's a hit and miss writer. Right.
He wrote 2 movies. You love both of them.
I thought there was something. I thought there was some stuff in the '90s that was awful. Am I wrong?
No, he's mostly been an actor, but no, he did X2 and he did.
Okay, never mind. He's not a hit or miss writer. He's a great writer.
He's the Guyver in Guyver 2.
Oh, that's right. He is the. I'm sorry. I was thinking something else.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I'm pretty sure David Hayter is the credit screenwriter.
David Hayter, I know that you religiously watch the Captain Logan show, and I want to apologize.
I love you, Solid Snake. And Naked Snake.
No, X2 is a masterpiece. What am I talking about?
I mean, he's one of like 3 listed writers on that. I think he's also listed on the first movie too, but David Hayter has a weird career.
No, I have the exact opposite of you, Cap. I don't watch anything, and my wife watches everything. So this is finally a show that we can watch together because I'm gonna watch it. So,
You're the.
but yeah, we also love Watchmen. We watched the 4-hour Ultimate Cut together, and we really liked it. So,
well, would you consider doing the how we felt about with me for the pilot?
yeah, if I can get HBO in time before you want to review it, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't realize that was coming out this week. This is how I run the channel. this is how it's run.
You guys tell us everything.
Well, there's so much now.
I can't keep up with it. Even just relegating to superhero, it's impossible. And I wouldn't have thought that when I started Rewind 10 years ago. I was worried about running out. Now it's like just that one genre, that one topic. Can't do it. It's impossible. DJ, we've got to finish these super chats.
Yeah. Mr. Roboto gives us a super chat. He says, I guess he has a proposal for you. Eric,
I'm already married, dude. Like...
He says, Eric, you starting a prank show as people like, maybe?
What?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. That's the word I got, guys. I'm just a humble moderator.
I
just read it. Like. I think he's wondering if you would ever start a prank show?
No.
Or maybe one of the prank shows that you guys talked about for April Fool's Day? I don't know.
There's a lot of people that are still begging me to produce Eric Holden's Neighborhood. It comes up all the time, and I've constantly said, look, it's never gonna happen, and people won't listen to me, and they just
what would it be?
So bad. I don't know.
It would be a negative Mr. Rogers, right? Like that's what would have to. I would have to come in like super pissed off,
throws his shoes at the wall.
throw my shoes down, like.
And you tell the children how it is.
Yeah.
You're wrong about everything. I mean,
hey, pessimist Rogers. There it is.
If we had the time,
Green light.
I would love to shoot like a fake pilot for that, but like,
and the money, because I would want it to look like if I'm gonna do that, I want it to look exactly like Mr. Rogers' set.
Yeah,
I think that'll be very good.
You'd have to do and then just like put like subtle things in the background that do not belong.
Yeah,
you know, that are just wrong.
And then just like at the end, as I'm tying up my shoes, it's like, all right, remember, like there's nothing special about you. Like anything you can do, there's probably else somebody that can do it better. So just be the biggest.
Don't even try.
At it. Yeah. Well, don't even try, but it's all. That's the moral of Dragon Ball Z. Is like there's always something better. Just keep striving.
Remember, kids, you're going to die
positive.
alone.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
That's what it would be.
So no prank channel.
No prank channel.
You're.
I'm bad at pranks. Well, I'm not bad at pranks. I just don't do them. I had one prank that I did every year. This is weird. So I had one prank I did every year for April Fool's Day, which is I would tape the back of the hose on the sink. Every year, that was my prank for April Fool's Day, and both of my younger siblings think I'm like a prank master. I'm like, oh man, Eric, like, oh, it's such a bummer Eric doesn't live here anymore because he was always getting us with these pranks. And I was like, nope. One prank.
Real quick, DC Marvel fan. By the way, I've never more wanted to actually make that show until right now. DC Marvel fan guy, I gotta answer this question real quick. Hey Cap, will you be watching Flash and Arrow this season since the first 8 episodes seem to be building up to and heading to Crisis? If somebody tells me that they're really necessary, I will consider it. But I'm not gonna watch them as they come out. So you guys watch it for me and let me know. Like if it seems like there's a lot of foundational stuff where I'll really appreciate Crisis better if I watch it. Just you guys let me know, because I do not have the time, but I will make the time if it's necessary.
But it can't be like, well, you're not going to know what's going on with Flash and Arrow if you don't watch these episodes. You don't care about that.
No, it can't be
it
that.
It has to be Crisis stuff.
Yeah. It has to really be. Yeah, if Psycho Pirate is in every episode, I'll consider it. You know,
or
if it's stuff like
but
that.
But like if it's just like Red Skies, like that's not enough.
It's not enough.
You don't even know how perfect. That was the best segue you could have ever done for this very next super chat from Stussy. Thoughts on Batman 89, Birds of Prey, and Smallville being included in Crisis?
Nailed it. I answered this question last week. I want to be excited, but I assume every cool thing that I'm excited about, or that I want to be excited about, will be there for 6 seconds. That's what I keep saying about that. I hope I'm wrong. It is part of the reason I'll watch it. But
it's cool, but like,
you just wish you could.
And given how they're announced,
the writing would match, and it probably won't.
Well, and given how a lot of this is being announced, like they didn't write a script. Like they didn't write a script around Tom Welling. Like, they had to work really hard to get Tom Welling. They could not have written a script assuming they would have Tom Welling, so it has to be a lot of cameos.
Okay, but let me suggest something.
I also think Brandon Routh as Superman is a mistake, because if it's Kevin Conroy as Batman,
Conroy, yeah,
if it's Kevin Conroy as Batman, it's Tim Daly as Superman, right? Because they're both Kingdom Come.
Yeah,
it should be Tim Daly.
I think he's also supposed to be Kingdom Come Batman. Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't know for sure if you're right about the Tom Welling thing, because I don't know how many of these are leaks and how many of them are intentionally letting us know about it. Because I know the Knox thing was a leak. We weren't supposed to know about that.
Okay.
And if it turns out that's the case with Tom Welling, then you could be wrong. They might have had him this whole time in the back pocket.
No, because I was reading articles saying they're trying really hard to get Tom Welling before the Tom Welling. Yeah, I was reading things saying they really want Tom Welling.
And before we knew about some of the other casting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least before he was announced.
Stop. I mean, here's the thing. It's a catch-22, because you are going to get people to watch that wouldn't otherwise. I can't count myself in that, because I have watched every crossover, and I kind of enjoyed the one last year. So
I'm more interested
I would still
with,
probably
with
have
all
watched
the cameos.
this, but there are a lot of people that are going to look at it just because of the cameos, and
they have to be worth it.
The problem is, I wish I could have been surprised by them, but then you're not going to intrigue people enough to watch it without telling us about.
Because you would have been really excited about Knox.
Yeah. No, that would have blown me away.
And that's also not one that would get people to go necessarily, so that one should have been kept up.
Because it's not really like there's any chance like Michael Keaton is going to show up. Like, it's not like, oh, if they got Knox, they probably got Danny DeVito.
Even
although that he probably would do it.
There were Michael
Danny DeVito would do
anything.
it.
But I doubt very seriously if they actually got Keaton to do it. There's a newspaper that apparently that we saw a picture of that's got Keaton's face on it, where he's apparently marrying Catwoman, and Knox has the paper. I guess that's supposed to be the scene.
Okay.
And I think people saw the paper and assumed that Keaton was in it or something. That's what I'm assuming happened.
So they don't understand that universe at all.
No, they don't. Well, it's still possible, because we know she's still alive at the end of Returns, because we see the back of her head.
Well, yeah, but
and so it's possible. I mean,
but is it an old newspaper, or is it now, like 30 years later?
It's weird, because he looks like he did then, but Knox is going to look 30 years older, so I don't know what time period this is. Like, I don't know what's going on.
He's just been holding on to this news article the whole time, trying to figure it out.
But look, these are the people that had a black cyborg Superman not wearing a Superman costume saying, "I'm Cyborg Superman." They don't care. They'll do anything.
They don't care.
The man doesn't look like Superman, or is wearing a Superman costume, but for no reason at all, except for the fact that's what he's called in the comics. He calls himself Cyborg Superman.
You know what would be a cool get?
It's hilarious.
The Harley Quinn from Birds of Prey. Like, if she actually did something and played the role as a villain.
Oh, that would be the best. Been great. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Assuming she's still working.
I think she is, but I'm not sure. Yeah, she's great. Mia Sara is her name.
Yeah, she's the girlfriend in Ferris Bueller.
Oh, really? Okay, how many more super chats do we have? We are well out of time.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, throw the darts.
All right, Mr. Roboto, Jay and Silent Bob reboot review.
I'm not
When?
seeing that. It looks terrible.
I've never seen the original, and I have no interest in
And
that.
I love it. Like, I love the original. I love all of Kevin Smith's movies, like, up to a certain point. But, like, he's just, like, a sad, like... He is what a young Kevin Smith would have been terrified he was going to grow up to be. Like, he's just a sellout, and, like, it looks awful. And this was the one, because his last couple of movies have not been good. And he's just okay with that. Like, he makes jokes about, like, oh man, BVS has a rating on Rotten Tomatoes like my movies get. He didn't used to make movies like that. Like, there were people that thought that there's no way Affleck and Matt Damon wrote Good Will Hunting. That Kevin Smith must have, like, ghost written some of that. That's how well people respect. And you read his Green Arrow stuff,
Yeah.
like
At some point, you guys will get to see us talk about that.
that Kevin Smith is gone. And like I thought maybe when the trailer dropped, I was like, maybe it'll feel different when it's back to his old characters. And it didn't. And it doesn't. It looks like everything else he's been doing. It looks awful. And it looks cheaper than the movie he made in 2000. So, I don't know.
By the way, I was just talking on my phone because Brandon sent me a message, not because I was sending myself a super chat. DJ, 3 more super chats.
Let's do it.
Do them up quick. We gotta get going.
All right, Ross Hitchcock comes in again. Have either of you played Half-Life or Valve games?
No.
I've never played Half-Life, but I'm very familiar with Half-Life jokes because I have friends that love them.
Oh, okay.
There's a big opening monologue that my friend used to do as Christopher Walken. But no, and I know Half-Life 3 will never come out. I don't know what the second one is.
Speaking of Christopher Walken, the next time you talk to Alexi, if you ever get to talk
If
to
I
Alexi,
ever talk to Alexi?
make sure that he tells you the Christopher Walken story.
Okay.
Because he told me about this whole thing that happened with him and Christopher Walken that is amazing.
Christopher Walken's somebody they probably could have gotten for the Crisis crossover.
He apparently had to drive Christopher Walken somewhere, and he was like totally high, and it was insane.
That's
It's
amazing.
the best story I've ever heard. Anyway.
All right, we now have 3 again because we just got one. Stop sending us super
Knock
chats. Donnie St. Pierre,
Thanks,
what
man.
is the future of After Dark?
We're gonna make them.
I guess because you guys were talking about him
It'll
leaving.
stop when I move.
Yeah, you think
Like,
so?
well, if I can't shoot anything.
It'll stop if you move to Colorado.
Yes. Not if I just move, but if I actually move out of state in a couple of months, like I
Or probably are.
like I'm probably going to. We'll see. Like, it's still the early days, but probably.
And that would be really sad, but
you can start shooting it with Vince.
and hopefully it's I mean I could try to find somebody else, but people are not gonna be as excited about that.
People would be more
without
excited if
him.
Vince came back. At least in the beginning, like people would be like, "Oh, Vince is back and he's doing things."
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know, but
And those are the kinds of videos Vince would want to make now.
yeah, that's true. Okay, so the future of After Dark is it will probably keep going in some way, but Eric won't be able to be there is the thing. But anyway, I don't know. I'm bummed out about that whole thing.
You could just have CJ.
He's perfect for After Dark.
That's actually not a bad idea. I'll talk to him. I'll tell him there's like $10 in it.
People are-
DJ.
That's way less than
Comments
I'm
are
getting
also
paid.
bummed. They're telling you not to leave, Eric.
It's not a for sure
He's
thing.
not-
It's just a possibility.
Well, and also if it tell me if I'm speaking out of turn, but like if it happens, it won't because he necessarily wants to leave. Like,
No, I really like Kansas City. I really like living
but
there.
also I just mean After Dark.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
like,
no, of course not. Like
He's not going to intentionally leave After Dark.
no, it'll just be
It's-
life situations.
I mean, I still love making that show with you.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
So
Me too.
whatever we feel like tights. I mean, it's cathartic for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that show. We've done it 40 times. I'm not tired of it.
Wow, 40 times.
Yeah. But and more than that if you count the old flies on the wall.
I don't know if those
All right.
ever got released, or did we actually make any of them?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Remember, I used to put a camera like way up high.
I remember you doing that once, and then I just kept saying like we'd have like a 4-hour conversation. We're like, we should have recorded that.
We did that a lot too, but we made at least 4 or 5 of those. Yeah.
Okay. 2 more?
Stussy.
3 more?
We have another super chat from Stussy. These guys
Elijah
are.
Wilcott says, "Eric, do what you want." There you go, Eric.
There you go. You got some support.
Do what thou wilt.
I agree
Stussy
with
just.
that, obviously, I'm just gonna be sad when you go. That's all. Okay, what's
He
up?
says, just wanted to say thank you to Eric. His videos were a big part of my childhood, and it was cool to hear someone talk about all the things I liked. And he says, I'm 20 if you were curious.
That's so weird to me. I appreciate that. Like, it's just so weird to, like, because if he's 20 now, that means he was watching them when he was, like, a teenager. Like, 10 years ago, he would have been, like, 10.
That always blows my mind when I get that, too. And I hear from people all the time that have been watching you and I both for 9, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
DJ, next time one of us gets a comment like that, I want you to preface it with "Don't shoot the messenger," because I think it's really funny.
But also, like, well into, like, he found my video. I don't know exactly when he found my videos, but, like, if I'm doing the math, like, well into, like, well-produced YouTube videos, where I continued to just have a picture and, like, a Rock Band mic. Well done.
Yeah, that's why your success was amazing.
I still have 6,000 subscribers. I have no videos.
With no videos there?
Looks amazing.
Yo, you should. I told Cap you should have kept the pepper review in there. Just that one
And
video.
that's the only video
I don't even remember that.
that's there. The hot pepper review? It was the first time you were on camera?
yes.
Or no, it wasn't the first time.
That was the first time I went on camera. I did some Q&As and
You
stuff,
did,
and I
yeah.
did, like, a video around my room. But, yeah. Yeah.
You did videos where you were basically horizontal, or like you were just like in a bed like this.
Oh, I don't remember
And
that.
you were, and those were your Q&A videos. And you're like, okay, give me a question. And you had somebody there with you that would give you a question. And you're just laying back like this, and then you would just like answer questions.
Oh, I think I vaguely remember that.
That sounds like the life. I'm gonna do that.
When I was deleted, when I was
Look,
going
that's
through...
essentially what I do, like for a third of my living now, except we dress up sometimes
When
and I
I was-
sit upright in a chair.
When I was going through and, like,
Somewhat upright.
removing the videos, there is a section where it's like it's a 12-part video that's a Q&A, and I remember doing that with a friend of mine and his nephew, where, like, we did something different every video. So, like, there was hats that would be moved around. Sometimes we were all on camera, sometimes we weren't. One time I wasn't even on camera answering questions that people, so they were asking questions for me and I wasn't answering. I was like, oh, that was a fun time. I'd forgotten about that. Anyways.
Brandon, you can't come over at 7:10. That was an hour and a half ago. Anyway.
Software agents.
It's like 9:30. We're
Okay.
gonna have to get off here in a minute.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm sorry this has gone so long.
No,
This is people want to talk to you. And Software Agents TV. Eric's channel was cool because he kept it real. Alex,
Yeah, I was gonna-
always attempt to keep it real.
Alex
Keep it real.
Barron, Cap. I started watching the Superhero Rewind when I was 10. I'm 19 now. No, Cap. I've been watching this channel since I was 13.
I'm 37 now.
Tolly, I started watching Geekvolution when I was 15 in 2013. Jeffrey, the entire reason I got into music is because of a review Eric did. Wow.
Wait, Jeffrey Patrone?
Yes.
There's no way I got Jeffrey Patrone the music. What did I review?
I'm not sure. He's told me this before, and I can't
Because my
remember.
music video sucked. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. And, like, I'm only half remembering the songs. Like, what did I do?
Well, I don't know, but I think you
Because
changed
he
Jeffrey's-
loves music.
Yeah, and he knows a lot. But yeah, he told me that he wasn't into that at that time, and that he thrust himself into it, and it's been a lot of his life. That and whiskey.
I do like whiskey.
He
But
does
that's not
reviews.
me.
He says MCR is the last album.
Oh! Yeah, I do love the album. Danger Days is a great album.
You have to believe him now.
Yeah.
That was a pretty obscure drop there.
I don't know what I said in that video, but I can't imagine saying anything so inspiring.
I don't know. You should.
That someone would devote their entire life to music. Wow, okay. Did not know
Ultron
that.
563, Eric gave me my hatred for Bob Kane.
That's good. I think I did that for a lot of people. I think I got the word out there on Bob Kane.
You did. I think you did too. I think you deserve a lot of credit. For that.
And I still up until like taking those videos off, I was still getting comments of people being like, "Screw you! Like Bob Kane's amazing. Bob Kane made Batman."
But I'm sure you occasionally got one that was like right on. He's
No, absolutely. But that and everyone for the past year, everyone all of a sudden was like, 10 years later, this Avi Arad video is still relevant.
Didn't you do a whole series about like creators that you thought were awful? That was like, fuck this person
That's
or
the-
F this person. Well, I did it. I did it live.
You did it. You did
I
it live.
No.
F it, we're doing it live.
That was
What?
not on purpose. I feel terrible about that.
Yes, and it wasn't even that. It was just sucks, and that was like the major thing. I took those down early. It was like Jeff Loeb sucks.
Oh, it's just
Bob
sucks.
Kane
It
sucks.
wasn't-
Yeah, it wasn't even
Wasn't
voted.
wasn't
even that,
even
and
that.
I did an F-bomb, and now everybody's losing their mind. Alex Barron says, Cap said the thing! Jeffrey says, we got him.
God.
Ultron says stop the presses.
If you contribute to
Wait, look what you've done to Cap, Eric.
if you contribute to Patreon, you can see this all the time.
No, it's true. It's not It's not as unusual for
I'm
me to
selling
say as
it.
people might
You're
think so.
playing it down. I'm selling it. You can see this all the time.
I gave you a little sneak peek.
If you go watch After Dark.
I don't even apologize every time.
He's not even drunk like Dan was.
You know what's great,
Dan
too?
said the F word once?
I think so. And see, now every time you say F, I'm having a hard time not
F?
accidentally wanting to actually say the word. What's really great is the F-bomb happened on the show where I went with the Mr. Rogers theme.
Of course it did. Are there any super chats left that we can like?
Speaking
go through real fast?
speaking of that,
Yeah.
we have a super chat from John Ty who says an interesting double feature would be the Joker movie and the Mr. Rogers biopic. Just the worst and best of society. Which order would you go? You'd have to go Joker
because
first.
then I
Though.
really want to do. Yes, I think you'd have to go Joker first. Yeah, and then you make yourself feel better with the
Joker's
film.
probably a worse watch second, right?
I would think so.
Like it would feel so much darker.
It would crush you.
Yeah, I mean that movie's not out yet, but I mean we know it's going to be a feel-good movie, even if it's bad.
It's not gonna be like Walk the Line.
Yeah, it's not going to have that last scene in Joker. That's not going to happen. He's not going to, do what he does in that movie.
Yeah, it's the opposite of the P.T. Barnum movie where they just make him sound horrible, even though he's great.
Yep.
Mutale, I mean, I mourn Captain Logan's innocence from how he was years ago. Thanks, Eric. Alex Beard, if Cap said it again accidentally, I would die laughing. I'm really trying not to.
This is
I
not
just don't wanna say
me.
F
This
anymore.
is
No, this is
like
not
Vince
Eric's
was
fault.
here long before me swearing.
I give him way more credit for that. Yeah, absolutely. Or not credit. Credit's not the right word. Anybody that's never seen it, go back and see the old GNN that Vince and I did about swearing, and you'll laugh your face off because of all the things I say in that about how I don't like swearing. After what I just did. Okay, DJ, what we have, like one or two more?
In the midst of all that craziness, we got another super chat from Stussy, and that's our last one, hopefully, for the evening. He says, I started watching Bleach. This is totally on topic. I started watching Bleach because of Eric, and it's my favorite series of all time.
That's hilarious because I did not continue. I only watched season 1 of Bleach. I know some things about later because like a friend of mine liked it and kept up with it, but like I never watched any further with Bleach.
Was that a manga that became an anime, or is that just a manga, or is that just an anime?
No, it's a manga that became an anime and has a lot of behind-the-scenes production troubles. There's a video on Bleach on YouTube. Not to plug other people, but there's a video you should go watch called like Bleach What Went Wrong or something like that. I think it's Super Eye Patch Wolf. I can't remember. It's wonderful. You should go watch it. It's a great video about how the manga industry just grinds people into the ground because of how much you have to like because you have to put out so much work because it's weekly and you're writing and drawing and like
and it makes American artists look like pansies. Like when you hear McFarlane talk about, like, do you know how long it takes to draw one of those? You're like, shut up, McFarlane.
Yeah.
Like I know you're my favorite artist, but like draw every now and again. Like if you lived in Japan.
Yeah. Well, and it talks about like how like backgrounds will slowly disappear because you just don't have the time. And like when you're 3 years into doing something weekly, like all those dumb plot contrivances you would never ever do, you now are resorting to because you just want to make it to your next deadline. Things like it's a wonderful video. I recommend people go watch it, and it uses Bleach as a baseline. But
yeah, I'll have to do that. That sounds really. I mean, like, can you watch that without really knowing what Bleach is? Like,
yeah.
Because I'd like to see that. I like David's comment here. You either die a hero or live long enough to drop an F-bomb.
We got one more super chat while that was happening. From Ross Hitchcock again.
Thanks, Ross.
I think he's like the MVP of the night. Are we getting any more Walking Dead reviews?
I would love to do more of that.
I finished Companion 1.
Did you?
Yeah.
I've not read that far in. We don't have any plans for it right now. I mean, never say never. I mean, a lot of stuff is just contingent upon
whether I move or not.
And by move he means move to a place where he's got the internet. Because just leaving the house doesn't mean we can't make videos together. No. We did that for years before you came here. But if you go to a place where you can't get very good internet, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
So maybe, but if not, with the two of us, I might try to do something on my own at some point, and do more of that. I don't know. I mean, it's a big commitment.
You know someone that's a Walking Dead. Is Vince a Walking Dead? There's someone that's a Walking Dead person.
Vince was a Walking Dead person. I don't know how far he went. But I mean, I could probably find somebody. Or just do it by myself.
Oh man, you don't even know what's coming.
I'm excited. I started over just because it's been a year. So I started reading it again a few weeks ago. But
I actually just finished Compendium 1 a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, did you really?
But I'd been like,
well, it's fresh in your mind. I wish I'd known that. I might
Walking
try to
Dead.
do it.
But
I'm trying to do the
but there's
X-Men
stuff
comic.
in between that also isn't as fresh.
Oh, I see. Okay, because
but-
you didn't go back and reread it.
Yeah,
Reread it. Okay.
Walking Dead became a book where like it's a book I'm never excited to read, but like once I'm reading it, I am.
That same year.
So
That's
so
why I didn't go back
so,
to it.
so like I'd pick it up and I'd read 50 pages and then I'd put it back down for. So like I've kind of been continuing to read it slowly throughout the year, but I did finish Compendium 1.
Well, I think we're going to have to wrap up here. We are like half an hour over time. Thanks for hanging out
Yeah,
late. I'm
I probably
sorry
made it run
it's
this long. So
as late as it is. Well, it was worth it. I certainly
you
enjoyed
got a
it.
movie to catch.
Well, and DJ's on vacation there. I hope we
Yeah.
kept him too long.
No,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I did like that you kept like going to DJ. We're like we'd run really long. We talked for like 10 minutes on top. And you're like, all right, DJ, we really got to move through these.
Well, usually I can keep us going, but I didn't want to like break you guys up. You
I'm
guys are.
sorry.
No,
It was
don't
gold.
apologize. I mean, I didn't want to.
Yeah, it was great.
Because you haven't done a Q&A in a long time, and people really wanted to talk to you. So,
Yeah.
we gave you the floor, sir. Anyway, everybody, thanks as always for watching. We sure appreciate it. Captain Logan Show will come back again next week on Wednesday, the normal time at 7 o'clock Central. So come back for that, and we might go ahead and do a theme show, DJ. I don't know what on yet. If there's something anybody really wants to see, if you have a cool idea, send me a message on Facebook or on Patreon, and I'll consider stuff. But we haven't done a theme show in a while. I don't think since the Axelrod show have we done a theme show.
Yeah, that was the last one.
You should do a Dark Man theme show.
Oh sure, yeah. If 9 people will arrive.
And
if
Bible
not-
Man. We'll do all the mans.
Yeah. All the non-Marvel and DC mans.
I don't know.
Man.
I don't know why that made me think of this, but I'm excited that all the Gargoyles is finally going to be in one place. Because
on
that's
Disney?
going to be on Disney. Yeah,
I've got the
I'm finally going
DVDs.
to be able to read through that, or watch through that. Yeah, but I thought there was a season they didn't put out.
We should do that. We should go through all the stuff that we're excited about that Disney Plus is getting.
I don't think season 3 has ever been put out, but no one likes season 3.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think that's a big
So maybe
deal.
it doesn't matter. What were you saying, DJ?
I was saying we should do that on one of these shows. Is go through the list and see all the stuff that we're excited about that Disney Plus is getting.
Yeah, that'll be a way to kill an hour.
Yeah.
Did you see the dumb thing Disney did? Did you see this? They put out a 3-hour video to reveal everything that was going to be on Disney Plus at launch, and each thing they play like it's just a loop of music. It's really irritating. It's like 20 to 25 seconds of footage from each thing. I'm like, no, 3. You do like 3 seconds and you just go like this and this and this and this, and you could stream that all and be a video. But like, who's gonna sit through 3 hours of that? That's ridiculous. I just went and looked up a list.
Disney
Can
fans
people
are
not read
drones,
the
they'll
list
do that.
anymore? Can people not read? They've
Yeah.
had the list out for weeks.
Read the list. I don't know what I didn't even
Skim
know
the
it was
list.
a full list. And once I saw that video, somebody sent me that video, and I looked at like 50 seconds long enough to see what that was, and then I was like, I bet somebody wrote these down. And then I went and looked at a list. It's dumb, but
definitely
there's some
did.
fascinating stuff on that. It looks absolutely worth your bang for your buck. It looks great.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about it. I mean, I hate that Disney is owning the universe, but it looks like it's going to be
They have.
very much worth it.
I don't know what I'm going to do on that. I don't want to support Disney. I don't want to support Disney on a monthly basis like that because they are the most evil company
I
on the
know.
planet.
Yeah.
But
I did the early deal where if you did I tell you about this?
Yeah,
where,
yeah.
Where if you did it by a certain date,
it's like 3 years or something,
you
right?
could pay for 3 years and get it for less than $4 a month, and that's what I did because it was really worth it. So it was like 100 something. I mean, it was cheap,
And you're going to use it.
and I'm gonna have to use
It's
it a lot. Yeah.
it's telling of how much stuff they have on there that people are complaining that they don't have Sky High. Like people are having to dig deep to
That's a
complain
great
about stuff. that's
movie.
not- I mean, I love it, but if they're real fans, they'd have the Blu-ray like me. So
That's what I said. I thought that was weird.
I want to know, do they have the 60s Marvel cartoons that have never been put on DVD and it's a crime?
I don't think so.
Of course not.
which
do they,
ones?
do they the ones where they're like just comic panels where they move them? Where they're like
Yes.
direct
Yes.
adaptations of the stories? They used to have
No, I
them on
mean like
VHS.
I meant like which superheroes because some of them are on DVD. The Spider-Man one's on DVD.
No, that's a Spider-Man cartoon. There was a Marvel Superheroes Hour that's Iron Man, America, Submariner, and Thor.
Where all they did was take the comic panels and then do like.
Oh, it's like a
rips
motion
over 'em.
comic.
Yeah.
Well, no,
yeah.
they move them a little bit too. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right, that's
it's like a motion comic. But what's interesting is sometimes they don't have panels to do what they need. So like Thor's, like I've seen one where it's
So
Odin.
they weren't direct adaptations.
They are direct adaptations, but they need like more dialogue, and they don't want to like use the same frames. Like Odin will be in different clothes from like it'll like cut to Odin, then it cut to Thor, and then it cuts back to Odin. He looks different. He's a different place because they used a different panel. But no, I watched those as a kid and I loved those.
I guess that's the kind of thing that Space Ghost Coast to Coast was parodying.
Yeah, yeah.
No, see, this streaming service is the perfect place for that kind of stuff because it's never going to get released physically.
But it should be
That's
on
what should-
VHS. Why can't it be on DVD? And 70 Spider-Man.
And
We're waiting on
obviously,
70
I want it
Spider-Man.
for my insane collection.
Is Silver Surfer on there?
No, but
Oh, that's ridiculous.
But it might be eventually. I mean, like
It's
Is it?
ridiculous. It's not there at launch.
But like the '90s X-Men shows.
But X-Men
there,
Spider-Man are there.
I don't know if Spider-Man is.
Oh. Then there must. If Spider-Man's not there, there was something weird with the rights, right?
Yeah.
That's the only way.
I just perused the list. It might be there and I missed
Ooh,
it.
and
but,
Hulk.
like,
That 90s Incredible Hulk show is so good.
yeah.
Well, season 1, season 2, not so much.
But it was cool how
And
much
that's
it
never
crossed
been
with different things. Like Ghost Rider was in that show, and
Hulk?
yeah.
Yeah. Those guys also in Fantastic
It
Four.
seems like was every see I didn't watch that show much, so I
own
must have missed that. But
Oh, it's
I
the
own
best!
many
You don't know
things
about...
I've never watched,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Before we call it, you
Yeah,
don't know about
yeah.
Ghost Rider and Fantastic Four? Okay.
Is this something I
So
have
this
to
is
watch?
this is what happens.
Okay.
No, because I'm going to tell you what happens.
Okay.
So, and this could be my memory incorrectly, but as I recall, nothing in the episode sets up Ghost Rider. That's what I remember. Like maybe there's a poster in the background or something, but like nothing sets up Ghost Rider. So Galactus shows up, right? Like
Yeah.
they're doing their big Galactus saga.
With Ghost Rider's there?
Ghost Rider drives up, Penance stares Galactus.
Oh, you told me about
drives
this.
away.
I didn't know it was that show.
Yeah, drives away, and the Giant Storm's like, I think they call that guy Ghost Rider. And then like that's it.
Is that how he defeats Galactus?
That's how they defeat Galactus. Is he Penance stares
So
him.
they turn Ghost Rider into the ultimate nullifier?
Yeah.
That's awesome!
But it's not like they go get him. He just drives up. Which I guess makes sense, because like Galactus is huge. He would know he was
So
there.
they used him as a screen clear move in a beat 'em up?
Yeah, yeah. And he was supposed to get his own cartoon. Like there's toys and stuff.
That's awesome!
There's a whole Ghost Rider toy line. He was supposed to get his own cartoon. And then they were like, well, we don't know if we can sell like hell to kids and like a demon. So we're not going to do that, but they made toys. You can buy
Whenever
toys.
this happens, when we say we're gonna leave, then 5 minutes later we're still watching, or we're still going. I wonder how many people have ever been like, "Oh, cool, I'm gonna get up and make my hot pocket," and they're like, "Oh man, I gotta wait, I can't make my hot pocket," and then like we're the reason they have to eat late. I wonder how often that's happened. It makes me feel so.
I have the list
powerful.
here. Silver Surfer is there.
Oh, sweet. Makes me feel powerful.
Yeah.
Silver Surfer's there, but here it is. Look,
Spider-Man's not. though, right?
Spider-Man 1981 is there,
Oh, that's
which
cool.
is before Amazing Friends.
Same
Spider-Man Unlimited.
And I have that. That was it. No, the 67 was the expensive one.
Yes.
That was like a
Yes.
$60 set, and I bought that.
Yes.
I'm so mad about that because we had that growing up, and my brother I think still has it, but it's like beat up. But I saw it at half price for like $100.
It's really expensive.
Yep.
Why is it? Oh, I should have just held on to it.
It was a low print one. I mean, it's just they didn't make very many of them. It's hard to get.
It's annoying. So Spider-Man 81 is there, Spider-Man Unlimited is there, and Spider-Man 2017 is there, and Ultimate Spider-Man is there. So yeah, no 90s Spider-Man.
And no Spectacular.
According to this list, I don't know, but according
And
to this list, no.
Spectacular Spider-Man. Okay.
Which makes me think there, like you said, there's some kind of rights issue.
Well, Spectacular Spider-Man might be because of Sony. They could have Spider-Man Unlimited, but they can't have 90s Spider-Man?
I don't get it.
So
That's weird.
I don't get it.
Anyways.
Well, we should probably end the show. Thanks again for watching. We sure appreciate it. I'm Captain Logan. Here's
All right.
Eric. Eric, I had so much fun having you. Thanks for being
Yeah.
here again. And there is our chat moderator, DJ Martinez.
see you guys. A lot of fun tonight.
All right, we'll see you again next week. I was Captain Logan saying good night. Good night. Bye, everybody.
It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. You're growing inside, and when you wake up, ready to say